Hey guys, Roger Wakefield, lead AP, the expert plumber. Coming to you live this morning. This is a little bit different venue. As you see, I got my back up against some curtains. I'm in a hotel room in Kansas City, Missouri. Here today to speak to plumbers, electricians, roofers, and HVAC techs on how to grow their business. But what I'm here for you is to teach you how do plumbers find leaks. How do plumbers find leaks is a very important question because we all do it different. The problem is, I don't think all plumbers do it right. When we go in to do a leak test on a residential house, a sewer and water test, the problem that we run into is, first of all, we've got to have cleanouts. And we need cleanouts there because what we need to do is we need to isolate the sewer line before it gets out to the city tap. And normally there's a two-way clean out right outside of a house. We can go in there, we can stick a test ball in with a long hose, bring the hose up, we fill up the test ball. So literally we're stopping up the sewer right past the two-way clean out as it goes towards the city drain. And then what we're doing there is we clog that up and then we fill it up with water either to the top of the clean out, or we can actually rise that up or extend that up a little bit and get that up to the foundation level. Or we can go into the house and pull a toilet. We can actually put the test ball in, bring it up higher, and then go in, pull a toilet and fill it up to that level, which actually brings us up to the floor level. So what we're trying to do, and I hate that Trek put it in their form where they call it a hydrostatic test. Other real estate companies call it a hydrostatic test, and it's really not what that is. A hydrostatic test involves a hydrostatic pump. You pump up the system. That's mainly done on a water line. If you have a plumber that comes in and says he wants to do a hydrostatic pump, he wants to pump up your system, he wants to build up the pressure, guys, that's not a good way to do things. So what we call it is a leak test. We do a leak test on the sewer, we do a leak test on the water, we also do a leak test on the gas. So whenever we put that test ball in, we fill it up, then we wait. We watch the water level. It may bounce around for a little bit trying to determine its own level because you've got different vents and different areas. But once it settles down, once that water level stops and stays consistent, what we do then is we go in, set a timer, and watch it to see if it drops any. Normally, within 5 or 10 minutes, we're going to know if it's a good size leak. If it's a smaller leak, it can take a little bit longer. But what we do is we set a timer for about 30 minutes and watch and see how far it drops. Now, that is just to test for the leak. So how we find it on a sewer line is a little bit different. If we know that there's a leak in there, what we'll do is we'll take cameras, we'll take test balls with long hoses, we'll push it up through your system to different areas. Once we get to those different areas, we can isolate those and then do this test again. Once we get the test to hold with different areas isolated, then we can know what system or what section is actually leaking. Once we know that, then we can go into that area and pull test balls every foot or two to try to determine where that leak is. Guys, the problem is on a sewer line, the leak location, it takes quite a while to do it. And it normally takes a couple of guys. You need to be able to pull the test balls. You need to be able to push with cameras. You need to be able to get above with a locator and locate where that camera is so you know right where your leak is or right where you're trying to isolate. We've got a thing that we do called flipping test balls. We can take a test ball in, put it in an area and blow it up, take another test ball in and get it to roll up and go up a side branch to isolate different lines. It's not very easy to do, and it takes a lot of training and a lot of experience, but to do it right, to locate leaks for people to where you can tell them, look, this is your leak. It's right here. You've got to be able to go through the entire process and do it right, and that takes quite a bit of time. I don't like it that a lot of plumbers just walk in and say, look, you have a leak, we need to replace everything. Guys, that's normally not the case. Even if you have old cast iron lines, it does not mean that everything under there is bad. We've actually tunneled up under houses here in Dallas that are 60 and 80 years old. And believe it or not, the cast iron actually looks good. It's in good shape. It has a good thickness to it. The bottom of it is not rotted out. So it's not like people have poured acidic drain cleaners down in it and rotted out the bottom. That channel rot's horrible. You can take a good piece of cast iron pipe, pour acidic drain cleaners down it and eat out the bottom of it. So that's how we locate it on a sewer line. Water line's a little bit different. First of all, we're going to go in, we're going to put a gauge on at the house, we're going to shut off the meter, and we're going to see if the house loses pressure. The next thing we need to do is start isolating, kind of like we did on the sewer test. Isolation here is a little bit different. First thing that we want to do is we want to find the valve box in the front yard. If we can shut that valve box off, then we know if the leak is in the yard or if the leak is in the house, because we're going to test it again. If we tested it before and it leaked down, and then we shut off the valve going into the house, and we pressurize it again, we shut it down. Now we shut that valve, and that pressure, if the gauge is inside the house, that pressure test now holds. Now we know that the leak is out in the yard surface. Guys, some people don't have valve boxes. Some people have old gate valves. They need to be replaced. We recommend replacing those with a ball valve. That way we can get a true isolation from the house to the yard service. You don't want us looking under your house all day long if your leak's out in your yard. So isolation is huge. Then, if we determine the leak is in the house, our next thing is go to the water heater. Isolate the hot and the cold side. Because if we can shut off the hot, do the test on the system, and determine whether it's hot or cold, now we're only looking through half the lines. We only have to locate half the lines, and we're only listening to those. Again, guys, isolation is huge, because what isolation does is it allows us, it's kind of like looking for a needle in a haystack. If you can cut that haystack into quarters or more, now you're looking in just one little section. And guys, when you're paying a plumber to come out and look for leaks, you want to make sure he's got the right equipment. We've got cameras. I've got test ball hoses anywhere from 3 feet to 70 feet, I think, maybe 75. But different houses, you need different lengths to go in and isolate different areas. On the water leak, it's a little bit different. We have some of the best high-end electronic equipment that there is for locating, for listening. We actually buy our product from Leaktronics out in California, and they've got a great high-end product that you literally can go around and listen for a water leak under the floor. Now, the things that may affect this that we may have to look at is we may have to pull back your carpet. If your leak's under a hardwood floor, you've got the hardwood floor, but then you have a base under it. Guys, it's hard. It's almost impossible to listen through all that. At that point, if you don't want to go through the hardwood floor, we try to get real close. We listen to both ends so we can isolate the line. We know what line it is, and then we can give you a price to tunnel. And based on what we hear and where we hear, that may be the best thing, because then we're not damaging your floor inside your house. And believe it or not, a lot of insurance companies like that. We work with them, we communicate with them. We want to make sure that we're doing the best job for you, but we also want to make sure that their interests are covered too. So we like to communicate with them and you and make sure everybody's on the same page and make sure that we're doing things right. So the leak tests for sewer and water, guys, they're very easy. They're very easy to explain, really, not necessarily easy to do. But with the right equipment and the right training and getting the right people out there, guys, this is a job that you don't want just anyone to do. I've seen plumbing companies before come in, and just because water's coming up at a certain spot in the floor, they're like, that's the leak. Guys, we've actually gone in and located the leak 25, 30 feet away from there. And what you don't want to do is end up just making holes everywhere that you think a leak is. Get a company, a reputable company, in to do your leak detection and make sure that you're at least Johnny on the spot. Now, is it always 100% accurate? No, we're trying to look under the ground, under your house, and find a leak. Water lines are sleeved. So that water, that noise, the air bubbles, any noise it makes, may be moving through a beam. It may be moving through that plastic to another area where there's a hole and it's coming out. So guys, there's no 100% rocket science guarantee on it, because all we can do is listen to the noises that we hear and base our decision on all the years of experience that we have doing this and all the training that we have. Now for a gas leaks are a little bit different. Gas leaks are a lot of fun. What you do is you pressurize the system and you crawl around, you smell. you take a spray bottle with soapy water and you start spraying down all the joints. You are literally looking all over the place to try and find sometimes just the smallest leak. Guys, it's not easy. Sometimes you have to take systems apart, isolate different areas. It's kind of crazy. First of all, we do a visual. We go through it and we soap down every joint that we can see. If it's a CSST system and they've got a manifold, we can isolate different areas. But what we're trying to do is isolate the area that's leaking. Then we're spraying down all the joints. We can go in with a sniffer. Sniffers are great, but if there's ever been a leak there before or any residue or something like that, sniffers sometimes pick that up. So what we like to do is we like to get a spray bottle in there, spray everything down, make sure that we're getting the right spot. That way when we fix it, we can pump it back up, test it, and let you know that you're safe. So guys, I'm Roger Wakefield with Texas Green Plumbing. I hope that you're liking these videos. I hope that we're able to give you information that you need. If you do like it, please leave a comment down below. Please click the subscribe button. Guys, clicking that subscribe button lets you stay informed about things that we're doing, but also it lets other people see that we are putting out good information, and hopefully they'll like it too. So I hope that we're giving you what you want. If you have any questions, any comments, please put them down here. Let us know what we can do for you. We want to give you the information that you need. My name is Roger Wakefield with Texas Green Plumbing, saving you money one drop at a time. Have a great day, y'all.